Hey guys, so it's the next day. I just got off work and we're going to be picking up with making over my front mailbox bed. So let me go ahead, show you guys the area, kind of talk you through my thought process, show you what we're going to be planting, and we'll get to work. Alright, so as you guys saw, yesterday we left off on transplanting my arborvitae ball here. It is doing amazing. I did come out and water it this morning, so I'll water it later this evening, but it literally looks like it has been growing here all 7 years, so it fits in perfect. So what we're going to work on now is finishing up my mailbox bed here. So I did dig out the plant from here yesterday. Normally I have my planter sitting right here. I have them two sitting right here, so I have one on this side and then one over here on this side, which y'all know I need my balance and symmetry. So when I step back, I have two Carissa hollies that have started to grow together, which is what I wanted. But I'm thinking I still want a planter on this end and then a planter on this end. However, I've already purchased a Carissa holly in order to fill off this curve here. So I'm thinking I want the full ring here to be all Carissa holly, and then we can dig out my barberry and transplant that to the backyard, and I can put my pot there. So that is my thought process. So let me go ahead and show you guys what we're going to be planting, and we'll go ahead and get to work. First off, before we start planting, I need to address my pots here. So I did previously have two Forever Goldies growing in these pots. Literally, the roots grew so large that they were plugging the holes, and I had a bunch of water sitting in the bottom of these containers, and they were starting to root rot. So I'm going to be adding additional drainage in here, and I'm also going to get these hooked up on drip so that I don't have any issues of watering later on. So I literally just went to Lowe's and purchased a new set of drill bits because I have no clue what happened to my old set. So I'm going to start off with, I think, this smaller one just to get the hole started, and then we'll bump up to this larger drill bit as well. All right, holes are drilled. I kind of went overboard just to be on the safe side. It's better to have more drainage than not enough. So I'm going to go ahead and get these placed, and let's go look at the plants. I don't know if I'm loving that, y'all. That's how it's been for the past 7 years, and I know they're off balance, but I don't know. I'm still debating. Let's go look at the plants first. All right, so welcome to my backyard garden center. This is my collection of trees that have yet to get into their permanent homes. What we're going to be planting today are these two right here. These are both my Morgan arborvitaes. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these out to get them planted in the pots, and we'll see if we can plant some annuals around the base maybe as well. Okay, y'all, so as I was cutting back my obelia here, I think I came to the conclusion that I prefer to leave just my two Carissa hollies and not plant anything on either side. So I'm actually going to return that other plant. We're going to put the pots on either side, and then I can fill in the center with two gorgeous perennials that I'll show you guys. So let's go ahead and get the pots placed. I actually need to kind of level out the ground a little bit just because, look, y'all, it's a mess. Let me go ahead and level out the ground, get the pots placed. I'm going to get the drip ran, and then we can get to planting. Okay, so I think I like that a lot better. So I'll have my pot over on this side, then I have room to come in with my pretty little perennial, and then same thing on this side. I have my pot in the back corner, which needs to bump over just a little bit, and then I have room to come in with my perennial. So thank you guys for bearing with me while I think this out. Let me go ahead and show y'all the perennial that we're going to be planting. All right, y'all, so I've got two options. I've got this gorgeous Cat's Pajamas Nepeta, which I know it doesn't look gorgeous right now. I did get this on clearance. And then I also have a dwarf Weigela, which I think I want to go with the Nepeta. So let's go ahead and get this planted. I also have another one that I need to transplant as well. So no money spent there, free plants. Let's go ahead and get to work. So I'm thinking Nepeta right here. I think that's going to be gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I'm excited to have some purple in the front here. That's going to be awesome. Okay, so let me go ahead and get that planted. I want to get that planted because the pot would be in the way, and then we can get the pot planted up. All right, we are finally getting to the fun part, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get the drip wound throughout the bed. We'll get the pots hooked up and planted. All right, drip line is ran up through the drain hole. It's also connected to my main drip line throughout this bed. I'm gonna go ahead and fill this pot up with soil so that we can get this pot planted up. All right, drip is connected. I'm gonna pop in landscape staple here just to hold it in place. All right, and then I'm pretty much gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna pop a straight coupler into my drip line here, run the drip up through the pot, and we'll get this one planted. Straight coupler goes into the applicator, pointy side up, and this will go into the drip line. All right, and then let me grab the tubing. All right, that is good to go. There's my landscape staple. All right, now I can plant. It's looking good. So I didn't mention to y'all, I did pot in the other planter, but I went to Lowe's and they were literally marking down clearance as I was shopping, and they had 5 flats of my favorite annual, y'all. This is the Walleriana. So I picked up 2 whole flats. So I put 4 in the other pot. I'm going to put 4 in this one, and it's going to be gorgeous. All right, y'all, so here is my other catmint, and this is the one that I was considering digging out, but it's doing so well and it looks so pretty in between my grasses here. I'm thinking I want to get another one and plant it over on this side. So I do have an iris planted here that is starting to come up. I think I'm going to go ahead and dig that out, and I'm loving that purple color. I accidentally planted one here, so this is what that other plant will look like eventually. All right, y'all, so the sun is starting to set, so I think I'm going to pause here for now. I feel really happy about the progress I made so far in this bed. Let me turn the camera around and show y'all what we got done. So here is what the front view is looking like. I know it still looks crazy. I do have a lot of cleanup to do, but this is mid-process, y'all. So right now I have my cat's pajamas planted here, which I think is so cute. It's going to be gorgeous. It is on a 1/2 gallon emitter, so this one get proper watering. I do have a bit of a hole over here on this side. Fingers crossed I can find another cat's pajamas to go here. I just decided not to transplant the one I had because I'm loving how it looks there. So hoping to get another one to fill in this space. If not, I have plenty of options to plant here. Y'all know I keep plants on deck. I have my pot sitting here on a paver just because I didn't feel like filling in the hole, y'all, and literally the level is perfect with the one over on this side when I step back, and I am loving my cute little arrangement, y'all. The Morgan Arborvitae looks so good. The scale is perfect, and this one actually will not get too much larger. I'm also loving the pink. Y'all know my theme this year is all pink and white, so I've got pink and white in my ring here, pink and white planted in my bed up there, and I've got my pink down here, and I'm so excited that this is on drip, y'all. Like, my pots have never been watered properly, so they never end up thriving later in the summer. So I did connect it on drip here. The drip is wound throughout the bed, and it also connects here, which I showed y'all. This does trench underneath the grass, which I did several years ago when I first planted my tree ring 4 years ago. And it runs throughout my entire bed to water these plants here. So I am so excited. Everything is automated. So the drip runs back through here on the back side. I did put a drip emitter on my abelia here, which, y'all, look at the back view. Check out that balance and symmetry. I've got my 2 Carissa hollies, a planter on each side, and I'm loving how this is kind of like almost a topiary ball. Just because the inside is starting to ball because it's not getting enough light, but works out perfectly. So anywho, the drip runs all the way on the back side of the plants, runs around this way, and I did attach it up through the pot. So I just need to come in and get some bubblers so that these can be watered. It does connect underneath the grass again, and it runs all the way up my arbs to water my front bed as well. So I am so excited about it, y'all. So yeah, you guys, I feel really good about tonight's progress. I'm going to head in, make some dinner, and I'll be back tomorrow to finish off the pavers and mulching. Hey y'all, I'm back. So it is 2 days later, and of course I have changed my mind again on what I want to go in the front bed. So I know, it's gardening with Jess. Just bear with me, y'all. So let me turn the camera around and show you guys what we're going to be finishing up today. All right, y'all, so here's where we left off with the front mailbox makeover. I still need to come in and clean out this bed. I also have changed my mind on having the catmint planted here. So I'm going to dig that out today, and let me show y'all what I'm going to be putting on either side in its place. So over here on the other side of my driveway, I have 2 hydrangeas that were transplanted here last spring from my front garden bed extension. They need to find permanent homes, you guys. They are receiving way too much sun over here during the summertime. And I was thinking, where I have that catmint placed, it's not going to receive enough sunlight because that area is shaded most of the day. So I think these 2 will be a perfect replacement. These are City Line Paris hydrangeas. So I'm going to dig these 2 out. And then that other catmint, I'm thinking, can go right tucked in here where I have my iris. So I'll have catmint in either like kind of corner in between my 2 grasses. First things first, I need to go ahead and pull up the rest of the landscape fabric that is in this bed because I am not going to be fighting with that, y'all. And then I'm also going to go ahead and blow out all the debris, and we'll get this area all cleaned up. Boy, I couldn't grow anything right there if I wanted to. This is a big piece of concrete. Another big piece of concrete. Now that I think about it, when I did this makeover initially 6 years ago, I think that's why I had my pot sitting here, was because I kept hitting concrete. Well, now it's out. Oh, I think it's tucked in perfectly. That would be the perfect size and the perfect color for this space. All right, so let me get this one dug out and transplanted, and we'll get this area all cleaned up. Y'all, I'm glad I came back and did this transplant because I forgot to put the drip emitter in there. I thought I did, so I just went ahead and popped in a 1 gallon per hour so that this hydrangea will get adequate water. All right, both hydrangeas are planted, drip is ran. Let's go ahead and get this area cleaned up.
I swear that's Runner J.
All right, y'all, the front bed is all mulched. It's looking really, really good. The last thing I'm going to work on is going ahead and mulching this strip here. I know that I have not finished the pavers yet. I'm just going to do that off camera because I still need to go get another blade for my circular saw to cut the pavers down to size. I'll just do that off camera. I feel like you guys have seen me do enough hardscaping this season. So we're going to go ahead and get this mulch, and I'll show you guys what it looks like for the final reveal. All right, you guys, lastly, but totally unrelated to this project today, I picked up all of these poppies from Lowe's clearance, and I'm gonna go ahead and get these planted around my magnolia tree. All right, you guys, I got all the poppies planted, and I think it adds so much color to this bed. And I think I'm still loving the dianthus planted here. I'm hoping it'll spread and fill around the entire base, but I'm going to go ahead and get these watered in, and let me show you all the mailbox bed. All right, y'all, mailbox bed is all done, and I'm loving the way that it turned out. So from the back here, I do have my 2 Carissa hollies here doing amazing. I love how low maintenance and drought tolerant these 2 plants are. When I tell y'all I have never trimmed these, this is just the growth habit they have grown in over the past 6 years. Over here, I did pot up in my planter here a Morgan arborvitae. Down below it, I did pop in some clearance Walleriana that I picked up. I have mentioned this in several of my videos that this is my favorite annual of all time. These bloom all season long, and they are shade tolerant. Here's a look at the tag. These are the Rockapulco Rose, and I am so excited about these, y'all. They are annual except in zones 10A to 11B, and they get about 10 to 20 inches tall and wide. So I'm telling y'all, these things will fill up the base entirely. The only thing I have left to do in this bed is go to the store. I need to get 2 bubblers, but the drip line is all ready, so these will get adequate water. Down here in my nook here, I did pop in my City Line Paris hydrangea that I transplanted from my old barberry bed. I did run a drip line. It's under the mulch, but I ran a drip line on a 1 gallon per hour emitter, so this one will get adequate water. It does bloom hot pink, so I think the 2 hot pinks will tie in perfectly here. And then same thing mirrored over on this side. I popped in another City Line Paris hydrangea. This bed does get sun. It gets about morning sun, I want to say maybe like 2 to 3 hours or so, and then it's in shade for the rest of the day, and then it gets like maybe 30 to 45 minutes of afternoon sun. So I think these plants will be happy, and I am loving how low maintenance this bed is going to be, and it's finally on drip, y'all. That is the most exciting part. Also, I got this bed partially mulched. I didn't mulch the back side of the arborvitaes because I still need to work on the pavers on this side of the driveway. But my transplant is doing great, you guys. I do need to water it, but it literally looks like it was growing here all along. Here is the update on my small little tree ring project around my magnolia, y'all. I am loving all of the color. Everything does look a little bit wilted because I literally just watered everything in, but I am loving all of the color that these poppies add around my magnolia. And I'm also kind of starting to love the dianthus here, you guys. I mentioned to y'all that I was just going to keep this here temporarily, but I'm actually loving the combination of the pink and the orange. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to leave it here for a season, see if I like it. Y'all know how I do. I always move things around. But I did come out a couple of days ago, and I cemented all of the blocks into place. So they are locked in solid, not going anywhere. And while I was planting, y'all probably saw I had a random paver sitting over here. I have purchased 23 more to do a second row. I'm still debating on whether or not I want to do a second layer high. My thought process on that is when I come in and cut my grass and do the grass trimming, I don't want the clippings to fall into the mulch. So I'll definitely give you guys an update later on in the season. My magnolia is doing amazing. This is my Jane magnolia. She's put on a ton of growth, and I'll continue to limb her up as she grows so that I can continue to have a nice planting space underneath her. But yeah, y'all, I am loving all of the color here. So this is pretty much going to conclude today's planting project. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and tuning in. I hope you guys found this video inspirational as always. I hope this gives you some ideas for your front mailbox bed as well. Leave me a comment down below, subscribe for more, and I will catch you in my next video. Peace.
Cool.